Jesus time. 11:21. We got 40 minutes to make it today. So we're going to do it. You know, my lives have been pretty good, but, you know, like, I don't know. Sometimes they be missing, but they've been pretty good. Like right now we're live. Oh, we got 2 people.
About Jesus, dude.
What's up, guys? Jesus, let's go. 3 people, let's go. 3 people. All right, we got chapter 22, 23, 24. Let's get this. I was going to get it done earlier, but I had a long discussion with Mr. Noah here. We got into Bible talk and politics a little bit. And other things that are going on in life, because as a coach, you end up also being a shrink. All right. It just comes with the territory. What's up, Tom? You got a fight coming up, huh? Is it next week? This week? Next week, huh? Let's go. All right. Father God, be with us as we read. May your voice be heard through me. May you control my words. May you allow the people to hear what they need to hear. And may all people hear what needs to be heard. All right. We were going over a lot of laws, right, in the book of Exodus. And we're going to continue. So, if a man steals an ox or a sheep and kills it or sells it, he shall repay 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief is found breaking in and is struck so that he dies, there shall be no blood guilt for him. But if the sun has risen on him, there shall be blood guilt for him. He shall surely pay. If he has nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the stolen beast is found alive in his possessions, whether it is an ox or a donkey or a sheep, he shall pay double. So wait, like right there. He's like the stand your ground thing, right? In what is that, California? Stand your ground. No, do we have stand your ground in California?
Yeah,
kind of, but they have to be facing you and they can't be turning away.
True.
All right, so he's saying that if someone breaks into your house and you're like, they're breaking into your house for a reason, they're trying to hurt you, you can defend yourself and you can kill them. You'll be fine. But if you do it that day, but if you catch them slipping, because the sun has risen, it's the next day, and then you go in to get them, then there's the problem. So God's cool with you standing your ground. Let's continue. If a man causes a field or a vineyard to be grazed over, or lets his beast loose, and it feeds in another man's field, he shall make restitution from the best in his own field and his own vineyard. If fire breaks out and catches in thorns, so that the stacked grain or the standing grain or the field is consumed, he who started the fire shall make full restitution. I mean, it's all of this is just like God going like, don't be a butthole. You know, if you mess some people's stuff up, you know, make up for it. If a man gives to his neighbor money or goods to keep safe and is stolen from the man's house, then if the thief is found, he shall pay double. If the thief is not found, the owner of the house shall come near to God to show whether or not he has put his hand to his neighbor's property. For every breach of trust, whether it is for an ox, for a donkey, for a sheep, for a cloak, or for any kind of lost thing of which one says, this is it, the case of both parties shall come before God. The one whom God condemns shall pay double to his neighbor. If a man gives to his neighbor a donkey or an ox or a sheep or any beast to keep safe, and it dies or is injured or is driven away without anyone seeing it, an oath by the Lord shall be between them both to see whether or not he has put his hand to his neighbor's property. The owner shall accept the oath, and he shall not make restitution. But if it is stolen from him, he shall make restitution to its owner. If it is torn by beast, let him bring it as evidence. He shall not make restitution for what has been torn. If a man borrows anything of his neighbor and is injured or dies, the owner not being with it, he shall make full restitution. If the owner was with it, he shall not make restitution. If it was hired, it came for its hiring fee. All right, laws about social justice. If a man seduces a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall give the bride price for her and make her his wife. So basically, if you have sex with a chick, that's your wife now. It is what it is. You should not permit a sorcerer permit a sorceress to live. Whoever lies with an animal shall be put to death. So don't have sex with animals. And also don't be a witch. Whoever sacrifices to any god other than the Lord alone shall be devoted to destruction. I should have done that for the last chapter. I just went through or every verse and just kind of explained it one for one. My bad, guys. You shall not wrong a sojourner or oppress him, for you were sojourners in the land of Egypt. So just like be kind to the people in your area. You shall not mistreat any widow or fatherless child. If you do mistreat them, they cry out to me. I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will burn, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall become widows, and your children fatherless. So don't mistreat any widow or fatherless children. It's like, not much explaining right there, you know. I'm telling you, like, all of this is legit God saying, don't be a butthole. Like, basically, if you lend money to any of my people with you who is poor, you shall not be like a moneylender to him, and you shall not exact interest from him. If you ever take your neighbor's cloak in pledge, you shall return it to him before the sun goes down, for that his only covering, and it is his cloak for his body. In what else shall he sleep? And if he cries to me, I will hear, for I am compassionate. So like, if I was cold and my homie's like, take this so you could be warm, you know, I'll use it for when I need to, but then I got to give it back to him after. I can't hold it forever, especially if it's his only thing, right? He's like, I got you, bro. Don't trip. Take this. Warm yourself up. You're good. I'm all good, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. But I got to give it back to him. I just can't keep it forever because he's going to be cold too. You shall not revile God, nor curse a ruler of your people. You shall not delay to offer from the fullness of your harvest and from the outflow of your presses. The firstborn of your sons you shall give to me. You shall not do the same with the oxen and with your sheep. 7 days it shall be with its mother, and on the 8th day you shall give it to me. You shall be consecrated to me. Therefore you shall not eat any flesh that is torn by beasts in the field. You shall throw it to the dogs. He's also telling you, like don't be eating food of animals that are like dead carcasses that are being scavenged by other stuff. Just because like it's probably not the best for you. You're probably gonna get sick, and that's not good, you know. Also, I believe the firstborn son shall be given to him. And it's saying 7 days with his mother, and on the 8th day you shall give to him. I believe that's when the circumcision happens. On that 7th day after. You shall not spread a false report. You shall not join hands with a wicked man to be a malicious witness. You shall not fall in love with, you shall not fall in with many that do evil, nor shall you bear witness in a lawsuit siding with the many, so as to pervert justice, nor shall you be partial to a poor man in his lawsuit. So just don't team up with the bad guys. If you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall bring it back to him. If you see the donkey of one who hates you lying down under its burden, you shall refrain from leaving him with it. You shall rescue it with him. It's like, it's all, when I'm saying don't be a butthole, I'm also saying what I was saying yesterday. A lot of people, this is like an eye for an eye. So it's treat people the way that you want to be treated, but that's like an extremely long way of saying love your neighbor. Because when you treat people the way you wanted to be treated, you should be treating people with love because you want to be loved. And I explained yesterday when I was going over the previous sections or chapters that we were reading that it's or did I say yesterday? Did you watch my I was going to say, I don't remember if I said it or not when I was explaining it, but so eye for an eye is love your neighbor. It's the same message, but it was at, I think I did say it. It was at a time and place, like while this, the time that was, the time period this is going on, people needed to like kind of run their lives a certain way. It was a little bit more vicious kind of world to live in. So if you told someone love your neighbor, they would look at you and kind of not understand the message. But a message they would understand is an eye for an eye. Treat people the way you want to be treated, you know. Do unto others as you want to be like done to yourself. Like eye for an eye. That message of eye for an eye is easy to relate. Love your neighbor, not so much, even though it was God's intention for them to be the same thing. And that's why Jesus had to come back and explain it later of what he truly meant when he was saying eye for an eye. Right. Let's see here. You shall not pervert the justice due to your poor in his lawsuit. Keep far from a false charge, and do not kill the innocent and righteous, for I will not acquit the wicked. And you shall take no bribe, for a bribe blinds the clear-sighted and subverts the cause of those who are in the right. You shall not oppress a sojourner. You know the heart of the sojourner, for you were sojourners in the land of Egypt. For 6 years you shall sow your land and gather in its yield, but the 7th year you shall let it rest and lie fallow, that the poor of your people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field may eat. You shall do likewise with your vineyard and with your olive orchard. 6 days you shall do your work, but on the 7th day you shall rest, that your ox and your donkey may have rest, and the son of your servant woman and the alien may be refreshed. It's going back to you got to rest, because we're not machines and it's good for you. Pay attention to all that I have said to you, and make no mentions of the names of other gods, nor let it be heard on your lips. Very important. He's mentioning it a couple times now, that he's the only God that you got to worship. And that includes phone, that includes business, that includes work, that includes hobbies, that includes anything that you're putting on a pedestal above God. He's the only thing that deserves worship, because he made all things. He's the creator of all things. He is the person who's in charge of all things. 3 times in the year you shall keep to feast. You shall keep to feast to me. You shall keep the feast of unleavened bread, as I commanded you. You shall eat unleavened bread for 7 days at the appointed time in the month of Abib. For it in you came out of Egypt. None shall appear before me empty-handed. You shall keep the feast of harvest of the first fruits of your labor, of what you sow in the field. You shall keep the feast of ingathering at the end of the year, when you gather in from the field the fruit of your labor. 3 times in the year shall all your males appear before the Lord God. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with anything leavened, or let the fat of my feast remain until this morning, or until the morning. The best of the first fruits of your ground shall bring into the house of the Lord your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. You shall not. I have this is a study guide too, so I'm looking for some clarification on that. You shall not boil a young goat in a mother's milk. It's saying here, a young goat in its mother's milk may have been a pagan religious ceremony practiced by nations in Canaan as a way to induce fertility. Alternatively, it may be seen as a gross violation of the natural order. The young goat should drink its mother's milk and gain life from it, not be cooked in it. Very interesting. So I think what God is trying to imply there is just that, because it's when you're looking at the verse before, it says, the best of the first fruits of your ground you shall bring into the house the Lord your God. So you gotta you give God what's the best, you give him and what comes first, he deserves the first of everything that you give him. You give him kind of his you give him his praise, you take care of him. You're like, is it the Bible? Is it pre or post New Testament? Testament makes the old one invalid. This is the Bible, and this is Old Testament, and Jesus never says he makes the Old Testament invalid. He just says that he comes to basically clarify it when he's doing the Sermon on the Mount. So it's not invalid. It just needed some clarification, and that's what he did, in my opinion. But okay, we're almost done.
Do you think the boiling of the milk, with times, like in war, in combat, in conflict, right? But like, no matter what, like you can't touch pregnant women, right? Like, did you kind of get that? Like, I felt like maybe he was saying like pregnant women or like anything that's pregnant is to be.
No, I think it's more when he's saying right here, when you shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. It's because it's like what it said, right? It's a young goat is supposed to drink the mother's milk.
Right.
So when you're boiling the goat in what the thing that should be its sustenance is the problem.
It's like you're mocking God, kind of.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's what I'm getting from it. Because the milk is something that the mom produces for the baby to live the life that it's supposed to live, and instead it's being its demise. So anytime you're kind of perverting God's plan is kind of like what I'm getting from it. Like, you shall not pervert God's plan for the things that he has for you, or just like his natural way of doing things.
Okay. You think fried chicken's like a no-go then?
Fried chicken, I don't know if fried chicken's a no-go, man, but because I guess it is in eggs, huh? You put it in a thing of eggs. I feel like that's. I would think that in this in particular, I don't know if that one's meant to be literal. I think that is more like a thing that's kind of, because it also said that that's something that Canaanites did to induce fertility, and so it's also worshiping a false god.
Gotcha.
That's
so it's
the
also
problem.
just like let be what is.
Yeah. Okay. Behold, I send an angel. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but Noah's talking to me over here. I hope you guys can hear it. He was just asking me about the young goat and the mother's milk. Behold, I send an angel before you to guard you on the way and to bring you to the place that I prepared. Pay careful attention to him and obey his voice. Do not rebel against him, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if you carefully obey his voice and do all that I say, then I will be an enemy to your enemies and an adversary to your adversaries. When my angel goes before you and brings you to the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I blot them out, you shall not bow down to their gods, not serve them, nor do as they do, but you shall utterly overthrow them and break their pillars in pieces. You shall serve the Lord your God, and he will bless your bread and your water, and I will take sickness away from you. None shall miscarry or be barren in your land, and I will fulfill the number of your days. I will send my terror before you, and will throw into confusion all the people against whom you shall come, and I will make all your enemies turn their backs to you, and I will send hornets before you, which shall drive out the Hivites, the Canaanites, the Hittites from before you. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the wild beasts multiply against you. Little by little I will drive them out from before you until you have increased and possessed the land, and I will set your border from the Red Sea to the sea of the Philistines, and from the wilderness to the Euphrates, and I will give the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. You shall make no covenant with them and their gods. They shall not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me. For if you serve their gods, I will surely be a snare to you. So God just basically, he's like hammering that in. He's like, dude, don't worship nobody except me. And I mean, I think it's valid. He's kind of like the God of all creation, you know, like I have like a little problem when people, and I mean, to each their own, but I find it hurts me when someone's like, oh yeah, you know, like the universe brought this into existence, or like, you know, like they're like, yeah, the universe kind of works out like that sometimes, you know, and I'm like, man, it's not the universe, man, it's God, the guy who created the thing that created the universe. I feel like it's a little slap in the face and disrespectful to my God to give credit to the thing that he created instead of himself. You got to give God his credit. Okay, last chapter. for today. Then he said to Moses, come up to the Lord, you, Aaron, and Nadab, and Abihu, and 7 of the elders of Israel, and worship from afar. Moses alone shall come near to the Lord, but the others shall not come near, and the people shall not come up with him. Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the rules, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words that the Lord had spoken we will do. And Moses wrote down all the words of the Lord. He rose early in the morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the people of Israel who offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen to the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in the basin, and half of the blood he threw against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it in the hearing of the people, and they said, all that the Lord has spoken we will do, and we will be obedient. And Moses took the blood, and he threw it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you in accordance with all these words. Then Moses and Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and the 7 of the elders of Israel went up, and they saw the God of Israel. There was under his feet as it were a pavement of sapphire stones, like the very heaven of clearness. And he did not lay his hand on the chief men of the people of Israel. They beheld God, and he ate and drank. Then the Lord said to Moses, come up to me on the mountain and wait there, and I may give you the tablets of stone with the law of the commandments, which I have written for their instruction. So Moses rose with his assistant Joshua, and Moses went up into the mountain of God, and he said to the elders, wait here for us until we return to you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever has a dispute, let him go with them. Then Moses went up on the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord dwelt on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it in 6 days. And on the 7th day he called to Moses out the midst of the cloud. Now the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a devouring fire on the top of the mountain in the sight of the people of Israel. Moses entered the cloud and went up the mountain, and Moses was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. 40 days and 40 nights. And that's the end of chapter 25, or chapter 24. So we're on 25, 26, and 27 tomorrow. But, so just to end there, to sum it up, they do a little sacrificing. It's very interesting that when it says right here that Moses says, behold the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you in accordance with all these words. Is it like he's giving them the laws, and then he throws this blood on them. And blood and sacrifice is a very prominent theme in the Bible. And it's all kind of culminates to and ends to Jesus spreading his, giving his blood for us as the ultimate sacrifice. All these other things that we were kind of giving up, and the sacrifices that we were giving were good enough to kind of clear us of our sins in the time, but for a second. But we're too flawed, we're too sinned, we make too many mistakes, as you're going to see in a second, right? Because we basically all agree that we're gonna just live by God and his rules and his law right here. And then surprise, surprise, guess what happens when Moses comes down after 40 days and 40 nights? I don't want to ruin it for you, but you'll see tomorrow. Yeah, I think us as people, you'll see, you've already kind of seen little parts of it, as the Israelites are kind of very whiny and always well, God, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, provide for me. And then, he'll provide for them, he'll provide for them over and over again. And as soon as he's done providing for them the next day, they're like, oh, we just gonna let us die? He hasn't let them die any single day, and he's provided for them every single day, no matter what. And then all of a sudden they're hungry again for the bazillionth time, and they just think that there's no faith, right? They just think that this time God's just gonna let them die. You would think that if you witnessed the Red Sea splitting and them being able to walk through, and then them being provided for that, they're cornered, the Egyptians are coming after them, the sea literally opens up from side to side, walls of water on both sides of you. They walk all the way through it, and then he crashes on the Egyptians, like saving them. They witnessed that happen. They witnessed God providing for them like that. I mean, like, in my head, I'd be like, okay, well, like, I think God's kind of got my back. I got nothing to worry about. But then even after that, he continues to give them food whenever they need, water whenever they need. He's consistently providing for them all the time, no matter what. And then God's like, all right, I got these rules for you. And then, we'll see what happens next. But we today don't see, we haven't really seen miracles like that take place in front of us. Maybe I don't want to speak for all of us, but maybe some of us have. But even with that, like, it just goes to show, like, these guys, the Israelites then are seeing all these kind of supernatural things happen. They're supernaturally being taken care of by this God that's in front of them. And even them are struggling to actually follow him and his rules, or not be so like kind of finicky. And so they're extremely easy to just kind of turn over and go follow somebody else. And I think that's why God is really laying it down, like, don't worship anybody else. Don't worship anybody else. I'm your God. Don't worship anybody else. I'm providing for you. I got you. You don't have to go anywhere. And he wants them to be saved. He wants their salvation. He wants them walking with him. He's like, guys, don't go anywhere else. It's like dealing with children, right? And I think that's why also, going back to the eye for an eye thing, it's like, if you're talking to a child, you're going to explain something a certain way compared to how you would explain something as an adult. And I think that an eye for an eye was just an easier concept for kind of the collective to understand and process versus, like I was saying, the like love your neighbor thing. I don't think they were ready for that conversation, so it was hard for him to say those things. I think it's because in those ancient times, magic and miracles was a normal thing. I believe ancient people before modernism truly saw supernatural things. Could be possible, because I mean, at the time when they were inside, or the people of Egypt, their magicians were kind of doing the same kind of plagues, right? Up to an extent. Like the first couple they were able to turn their staff, or that wasn't a plague, but they were able to turn their staff into a snake. They're able to turn the water red. Like, they're able to do a couple things. But even them were like, yeah, I don't know how God's done this. This guy's kind of, he's got us, you know? And so, maybe that might be a thing, that gods were kind of just walking around doing what they were doing. So it wasn't as mystifying as, like, if I just saw the water kind of crack open and I walk through. Like, they're over there thinking, like, I'm over here thinking some kind of dramatic thing, but it might have just been Tuesday for them, you know? Like, oh, you know, yeah, happens all the time, you know? This ain't that crazy. So, I mean, yeah, valid point. I don't know. I wasn't around. So maybe that is exactly what was happening. I can't say for sure. Have I seen King of Egypt? Have any of you guys seen King of Egypt? I don't know what's King of Egypt.
Dude, it's hard. It's like one of Disney's like old.
Oh, that's the Moses one. I have seen King of Egypt.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
The scene where he parts the Red Sea. It's like epic. It's like one of the best like animated scenes in history.
Oh, you know, I think I watched that with my baby the other day. Yeah. Honestly, Fallen One's demons can do miracles. I don't know how I would consider them miracles per se, but it seems like they got a certain level of mysticism with them for sure, you know, where they're doing things beyond what we would be able to do. That's like, you know, and then the Bible's even hinting that the Nephilim, right, those fallen ones, were kind of teaching us how to do things that we're not supposed to even be able to do. So it doesn't really specify what exactly they're teaching us, but it seems like maybe that is how we came about all this other sorcery. Like, literally a couple verses ago, it said that, you know, not to be a sorceress woman. Like, you're not supposed to be you're not supposed to be dabbling in the black arts. It's not good for us. It's not good for our souls. It's not good for us for whatever reason. And I know, like, and I mentioned it yesterday, it was saying that he calls himself a jealous God, but that's like a mispronunciation. It's zealous is more the right word. It's like a righteous jealousy. And I think when he's telling us to do these things, because you don't have to believe it, but right, if you're being a Christian, you got to know You got to believe the faith comes in that everything God is doing is for your good and because he loves you. So if he's telling you not to take part in these kind of black magic-y, witchy stuff, it's because it's good for you. If he's telling you to not worship the other gods and give into that kind of stuff, it's because it's good for you. It might turn you down a bad road. It might get you things that it might get you to do things that you're not supposed to do. It might be things that we're just not supposed to see. And, but I mean, if you go circle back all the way to Adam and Eve, we're, kind of keen on doing things we're not supposed to do. And I think that is a forever struggle and the sin that is kind of rooted in our DNA. But it's our 11:51, so I should probably get home before my wife gets mad at me because I'm still at the gym. So God bless, guys. Tune in tomorrow for the next 3 chapters. Love you guys. But it's a choice too. We fall, we rise, and point. Amen. Righteous man falls down 7 times and gets up 8. Only the wicked stay down. 100% always choose Christ. We wouldn't have love of God if we didn't have the choice to not choose him. We need the choice so that it's true love. He can't truly have our love if he's forcing us to choose him. And that's just the way I think. Like, you can't tell me that someone loves you if they, you're forcing them to love you. It's not truly love if it doesn't come with free will. But, yeah. So love you guys. Catch you later. God bless.